sew another button on and do more brushing than I usually do. But this week, we're testing out different masks to wear underneath your fursuit, much like the title implies. So, we'll be looking at, a very thin 2-ply, like, stretch fabric cloth face masks. Then we'll be looking at two other face masks. The classic N95 and the KN95, brand new, all of them. This one I just gave the first wash. My head just fell on the ground, but that's okay. It's not the first time it rolled over on the ground. It won't be the last. Anyway, so this I drew myself, by the way. I'm going to do first. I gave it a wash. It's still a little bit damp, but the thing is, when you're wearing a fursuit, your face is going to get really, really damp, especially when you're trying to put on a mask underneath a fursuit. Ask anybody who has done that at a recent con. It's, yeah, you get sweaty. You get really sweaty, and the mask gets quite saturated. So, my guesses, based on my own experience too, I actually have not tried a cloth face mask. I've only tried N95 and KN95. And I gotta say, just right off the bat, the fact that the N95 has this structure in it that keeps it off your face is its saving grace and keeps it dry the longest, which means it can keep you going about an hour until, it saturates up and then you start dying. By the way, mine, I forgot to do this, but I got these, like, weird straps that, like, they are kind of a weird, like, they're a weird elastomer there. Like, if you don't go and stretch them bit by bit, it'll break. It is unfortunate consequence of a lot of the N95s that are available, the true N95s that are available, is that a lot of them have these weird, like, half foam rubber strap things. I don't even know if they're rubber is the thing. I don't even know if they're technically elastomers. But anyway, you kind of have to stretch it out bit by bit. Before you put it on. Otherwise, you might end up snapping these straps. But, it is good to make sure that the actually good N95s are there for the people who need them, and the rest of us can totally make a do with a mask that you have to spend about 5 minutes stretching the thingy. Anyway, so got the KN95. The KN95, it is about as difficult to breathe through as the true N95, but the thing is, the way that it's, the way that it's made, it goes pretty much tight to your face, and so for me, my nose ends here, so, and my cheeks end here, which means once this area, which kind of folds in on itself anyway, becomes entirely saturated, like, you are now breathing through wet fabric. And if anyone has tried to breathe through wet fabric before or knows anything about fire safety and the fact that you should breathe through wet fabric, it's very difficult to. The water fills up all the little gaps and stuff between the fibers, and it blocks a lot of the airflow, making it much more difficult to breathe than if it was dry. So that's a fun fact. So there we go. I have to put on multi-stream comment viewing for myself, so now I don't know if anybody said anything, but if you have said something I didn't say something back, sorry, hello! So yeah, that's what we're doing today. So what I'm testing first is the cloth mask, and that's because this is fairly brand new. So I gave it a little wash. It's a little bit damp, which is great because I'm going to be starting the first song with the driest face. What up, Noah? So, So you're gonna turn up the volume of my computer speakers there. I hope that we didn't do Adventure Time last stream, because we're gonna start this stream with Adventure Time by Rogue. We're gonna have some fun. First, I'm gonna put on the mask under the mask. Because, yeah, I'm going to be testing these, by the way, by doing my normal dancing, but, like, with the mask on. I'll try to tone it down. Otherwise, I might end up accidentally, like, hurting myself. So, I'm gonna tone down the dancing a bit, but we're doing mask testing. So, here's this. Mask on. And then mess with my nose. There we go. You know when you put on a face mask and it like bends your nose sideways and it's just wrong? Yeah, that. And there you go, second mask. I gotta say, right off the bat, this is a lot better breathing experience than when either of my N95s started filling up with sweat. Yeah, this is actually not bad at all. I could totally do this. Like, you know, dancing is gonna be extra difficult because I don't have cold air immediately touching my face. Yeah, I asked my partner to make sure he watches this stream because if there's any stream that I will faint during, it will be this one. And you know what? This is also a stream I'm probably going to leave up for indefinitely. Usually I take them down the next day, like early to mid-afternoon. But this one is staying up probably indefinitely. So I feel like it's probably going to be useful to a lot of people. Alright, turning on this fan. There you go. Feel it over here. Cool. Gonna need that. Oh. Also gonna need a collar. And by mine, I mean Jakey's. My friend Jake is gonna get this collar back when his fursuit's completed. It is being worked on right now. We're so pumped for this suit. Oh my god. It's gonna be awesome. I'll tell you what. Alright, this is Adventure Time by Rogue. I'm gonna mute myself. Alright. So as usual, the head's gonna come off. Head is off. Alright, so I'm gonna be wearing this again for like last song, or maybe even wear it 2 songs in a row, because heck, that was really not bad. Like, yeah, that was worse than like not wearing a mask at all, but holy crap, that was so much better than I remember what wearing an N95 was. And I will not be able to do anywhere near that kind of dancing in the KN95. I'll give you that right now. See, what do you think? Next song in the same one, to kind of like, here we're kind of starting to fill this with, like, you know, with sweat. Maybe like the salts from sweat would like make it more difficult to breathe than it just being wet with like tap water. But like, it's seeming like this one might be the best choice here. So yeah, let me know. Cloth or go to fuck it, let's do KN95 first. Give N95 the best chance. Or should we do N95 and then give give KN95 the best chance, give the N95 the worst chance of having a good review. Don't worry, I may burp a lot. That's completely normal. Everything's fine. That said, well, if anything did happen, that would be really embarrassing because I am live. 95? Alright. Let's fucking go. Now, before I do the KN95, I'm going to be smart and drink some water. Always drink water whenever you're doing anything remotely rigorous. Always drink water even if you're not doing anything rigorous. Drink water. Drink water. In fact, everybody, drink water right the fuck now. Drink water. Go get yourself some if you don't have any, because, like, I'm going to be boring and drinking water for a second here. Alright. So, we've got KN95. KN95 are the masks that have the fold down the middle. They don't have their own internal support structure, which is important for the purposes of our purposes. Because we're going to make it sweaty if, you know, any of the surface that touches our face, you're going to make super sweaty. So, here we go. So, KN95. KN95 is probably the most difficult to breathe through dry. Let me just... Oh yeah, by far the most difficult to breathe through when dry. And if my memory serves me properly, it only gets worse when it gets damp. So, we're gonna have some fun, alright? Now, this next dance I will not do with any enthusiasm compared to, like, my other dances, because, like, I'm going to be suffering in here. Like, the suffering is going to be a lot. We are dancing for science. Alright. Now, once I get it into my fursuit head, I feel it is very wrinkly and scrunchy. I can try to undo some of the wrinkles. Again, that will help the breathing, but as soon as I inhale, it comes right plastered right back to my face. I don't know if you can you see that? Anyway, it is ouchy. Not ouchy, but it's really uncomfortable actually on my face in general. But like when it comes to like the asphyxiation, like claustrophobic feel, it is definitely I am claustrophobic. Fun fact, like I do not like tight spaces. I do not like not being able to breathe. It is absolutely frightening to me. So this KN95 mask underneath my fursuit head, it definitely, you know, it takes a bit of willpower to not panic, I'll say that much. So with that said, I will not be dancing with much enthusiasm. So, oh yeah, when I do this, and especially after I stop,
I will say things in terms of like how long it takes her to inhale like clean air and stuff. I didn't even have to do that with that like the cloth one because like I could feel as soon as I started inhaling, air was coming through the mask. I was inhaling the air. It was fine. It was like mostly like clean, fresh air too. And when I'd inhale, the air would start to evaporate a little bit off the mask and make just a little bit of a cooling sensation over the mask, which was really, really nice. I like the cloth mask. The KN95, I'm already struggling way more than when that one was way wet. So things are not looking good for the KN95. I'll say that much. Anyway, I'm going to mute myself. We are going to be dancing to Professional Griefers vocal mix featuring Gerard Way by Dead Mouse. Let's go. I like the sound of the Alright, like usual, the head is coming off, so I'll talk to you guys. Alright. So, first thing, if you could tell, when I inhale, that's happening. That was not happening before. See, this isn't already this isn't all the way saturated. But it's already significantly harder to breathe out of that. Yeah, it feels really claustrophobic-y, and as somebody who is very, who tends to get claustrophobia, fear, anxiety things, this does it. Oh golly, yeah, it kind of like, it feels like when your big sibling throws like a blanket over you and then like sits on your face. It's kind of like that feeling where like, you feel like you're probably gonna die. However, unlike that, I can scream in this and actually be heard, and someone would actually know if I was like, panicking and dying or something, which in the former situation I would, no one would know. Except the person, except my sibling, who, it'd be up to their mercy and stuff. Anyway, bringing back flashbacks to that, I don't like that. LOL. Like, I'm good on that. To kind of give a rough, like, description of what it feels like. I don't know how many of you guys are actually little siblings, too. But some fun little sibling things. Completely normal. So, that's the KN95. Verdict: suffocation, no breathing. So, there's that. Let's go to the N95. Give this a nice... Again, you want to make sure you give these new N95 masks straps a tug, because if they're like, kind of a weird, like, foamy... Golly, I wish you could see this. It's so weird. It's like a foam, but it's stretchy, but it like, oh, it's weird. What up, Micah Vlogs? Alright. So far, so good. The straps haven't broken. There we go, 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 there we go. And there we go. I gotta say, as far as which one's easiest to put on, easiest to wear as far as the straps are concerned, the KN95 had the easiest straps. Probably because I have a weirdly shaped face, so I have to shop the children's sizes, but the children's sizes are a bit tight on me, but the adult sizes are way, way, way too loose and baggy. Fun little things. It's being a child-sized human. Alright. Now, it's a little difficult to breathe in this mask. I gotta say right off the bat. The fursuit does collapse it a little bit. It'll be interesting to see what that does. But for now, I'm going to try my best to not collapse it, because I know that the biggest thing that the true N95 has above the KN95 is that internal structure that keeps it away from your face. That means it doesn't, that the breathing zones don't saturate with sweat near as quickly. Anyway, if you guys happen to notice the song that comes on next, it is Phantom by Justice. Let's go. Alright, as usual, the head is coming off.
So, fun thing, this, a lot better than the K on 95. This, the fact that it still stayed away from my face, it was scrunched a little bit, so like one like line in the middle just went across my nose. That's about it. The rest, oh, Cardi or some Pop Smoke. I have not heard much of their songs, so I can't have any of that. I haven't had any of their songs pre-listened to, queued up, and everything. I actually haven't heard them before, so I don't know if I would like their music or not. So it would be kind of boring for me to like look over their music and like read their lyrics and stuff. I'm a slow reader anyway. So message me on Telegram. I'm just Jasper Jackal on Telegram, like my Twitter and for Affinity. So go ahead and throw that at me there. Tell me to dance to that there, and I will see it. When I'm not streaming. And remember this conversation, and I'll go look up their stuff and everything. I mean, oh, best case scenario, I find a new favorite musician band thing place. Yeah. But yeah, so the KN95 squished to my face and gave me the feeling of suffocation, just like absolutely, someone pressing fabric against my face suffocating me. The fabric that was suffocating me was at least away from my face, so it filled up with sweat more slowly, and it also did not have the same kind of like feeling of dying. However, so far, shitty cloth face mask is starting to be kind of the winner. Now, I wouldn't usually, advocate just this at a convention. Just this is not going to protect you, and it's barely going to protect the people around you. Now, it's so much better than nothing. If you have to wear almost nothing, please wear one of these. I want to stress that. Wearing one of these is so much better than wearing nothing. However, one of these is a lot better than one of these if you are just, going to the con floor, not in a fursuit. If you're not wearing a fursuit, honestly, best thing is you take one of these, and then you can put one of these over it, and boom, you have your furry face mask, but you are still pretty decently protected. And the KN95, especially if you get it in black, you might not even be able to tell that you're wearing a KN95 mask underneath it. Like, it looks pretty decent. I kind of wish I thought of that when I was doing the convention, but I didn't, so I didn't. I was just, walking around in one of these, being like, man, I wish I could show off one of my cool face masks. But yeah, no. Wear one of these, put one of these over it, like, if you're walking the con floor. If you are in a fursuit, however, you have a lot of extra protection in the form of the, like, muzzle and everything, all the extra stuff around your face. And then, once this fills with sweat, this will become a decent, air filtration thing. Because, yeah, it lets in about as much as the KN95 wet as the KN95 does dry. If that makes any sense. Oh, I can! What up? Big shout out to Rainbow Records! Oh my god, yes! Do you even know what I'm saying? They saw Rainbow Records sounds like a LGBT friendly place, and any place that's LGBT friendly, as long as they're not like racist or something else bigoty, and they're great in my book. Sorry, no one gets a pass from being a bigot, but they sound like really awesome people, like straight up. Yo, I gotta check them out. Rainbow Records is that? All right, I'll check them out. What up? Shout out to y'all. I gotta look at you, see what you guys are, see what you guys record company. See what musicians you guys record company for. Check out your musicians, check out your music and stuff. Heck yeah. No. Alright. Here we are, you're back in the cloth face mask. We are doing some extensive testing on this now that I have deemed it by far the best one.
Now, it does have the same problem as the KN95 mask does, in that it is not held away from your face, which means you are getting kind of more of the being suffocated by blankets and stuff feel. So there is that. It, not gonna lie, I am claustrophobic, so that's, it's not my cup of tea. I hear it can be other people's cup of tea. Fantastic for them. I hope they enjoy wearing a mask underneath their fursuit in a healthy and safe way. Now, for the rest of us, yeah, I'm thinking the cloth is probably the best overall. Especially once those start filling up with sweat, start getting into weird trouble. Now, if you do cloth, I recommend having like 5 or 6 cloth masks to swap out in between. Because, like, once they become really, 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 really wet, you're probably going to be tempted to switch over. And you know what? Your breathing's important. That said, here is another dance test. This is Spectrum by Zed, featuring Coma. Spectrum by Zed. Here we go. Muting myself.
Breathing you in when I want you out, finding our truth in a hope of doubt, lying inside our quiet drama, wearing your heart like a stolen dream, opening skies with your broken keys. No one can blind us any longer. We'll run where lights won't chase us, hide where love can save us. I will never let you go. We'll run where lights won't chase us, hide where love can save us. I will never let you go. Breathing you in when I want you out, finding our truth in a hope of doubt, lying inside our quiet drama. Breathing you in when I want you out, finding our truth in a hope of doubt, lying inside our quiet drama, wearing your heart like a stolen dream, opening skies with your broken keys. No one can blind us any longer. We'll run where lights won't chase us, hide where love can save us. I will never let you go. We'll run where lights won't chase us, hide
Alright, like usual, the head is coming off. Alright. So, tune is changing. When this gets proper soaked, it is just as hard to breathe through as either of those. However, since it's tight to your face, you're pretty much not going to be able to breathe through your nose. You're going to open up your mouth really, really wide and desperately gape any air you possibly can into your body and repeat until you get a dry mask. That's not ideal. So, here we're going to do the next dance with the normal N95 mask on. See how it fares. Oh. There we go. Sorry for blowing my nose on stream. But sometimes when you have enough sweat that is dripping into your eyes and then into your sinuses, you gotta do what you gotta do, you know what I'm saying? You know what? Water. I always say whenever you're doing anything rigorous, you want to drink a lot of water. Ideally, you want to have fans or something blowing nice air over you. Because if you're drinking water, that means you're sweating. If you're sweating, that means you're warm. If you're warm, that means, you know, cool the fuck down. And you can't do that if you're dehydrated, so water. Because if you're warm and you're not sweating, then you need to drink water, but slowly, because otherwise you might barf it back up. Jordan! No, it's just hella late. I'm doing a mask stream. So, to recap everything, until it's drenched, this is the best. This one is pretty consistently the worst because it already starts off having difficulty, having restricted airflow and stuff through it. And then, since it kind of hugs tight to your face, it absorbs the sweat right away. And it absorbs the sweat in the zones you need to transmit the air through, which makes it the hardest to breathe through. So this is a hard no, unless con floor. Best for con floor. Definitely. This over top this, fantastic for the con floor if you're not wearing a fursuit. Under a fursuit speaking, this worst for under a fursuit. This, pretty dang good. Have backups and stuff, and change in between them in the headless lounge or anything very frequently. However, if you can find N95 masks, even if they have like really shitty straps and stuff, you just gotta pre-stretch the straps. But then, since it holds itself away from your face, you have a lot longer before you start dying. So, here is... But I've only done one song in this. I did 2 songs in the cloth mask. So, oh, thank you! I appreciate calling this. It's gonna be calling this stream fun. Oh no! What up, Cammy? Testing out different face masks for the purposes of wearing underneath a fursuit head. So, to recap, if you're not wearing a fursuit, one of these with a cloth mask over it looks really cute. Like, boom. You could probably, it would, if you wear it right, it almost looks like you're not wearing a mask underneath it. Perfect for not wearing a fursuit head. If you are wearing a fursuit head, these are the worst because they hug close to your face and they soak up with sweat immediately because of it. You don't have a lot of airspace to breathe in. This, all around great, but you need to have a bunch of different copies because once this is drenched, then you're in trouble again, and almost as much trouble as in the KN95 mask. But not quite as much trouble because oh my gosh, with this you go, you just switch to holding your mouth way open and desperately trying to chug in air through your gaping mouth. The KN95 one, you're doing that and it's just practically not working. Huh. So that said, I've only tried the cloth mask twice. After the first time I tried it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is by far the best. But maybe my tune will change the second time And so since my tune changed about that, I'm like, all right, let's try the N95, the true N95. Let's see if it continues being the best because of how it holds itself away from my face. Either way, you know, I can't say it enough. You want to be wearing a mask under your fursuit. There isn't a lot of air filtration that happens in the open space in your mouth unless your suit already has like a closed up face. You want to at least have your balaclava over your mouth and nose, if nothing else. That is so important. I can't stress it enough. If you don't have a balaclava to put it over your open mouth and nose, so far, the N95, the true N95s are looking the best. Now, we're going to do one last song to see if that's for sure. This is Nuclear Hands Up by Zomboy because, I mean, I am a gay trans furry. Hell yeah, I listen to dubstep. I'm cringe. What can I say? Muting myself real quick.
Come on, tell them this in your hands in your ear.
find your chair. Get your freak on one like you know care. Let me see ya, let me see ya, let me see ya, let me see ya.
Alright, time for the removing the head part.
The part where we remove the head. Now, as we can see, that was a very warm experience. Let me just pop a seat here. Now, that was probably the warmth / heat was about on par as with this. However, the actual ability to breathe and the lack of lung resistance, you know, it didn't have a whole lot of lung resistance. It just trapped in a lot of heat. Especially as it got damp, it just trapped in a lot more heat and got a little more difficult to breathe through. But because, again, it has that, like, this structure, it isn't going to suck to my nostrils or, like, you know, get inside my mouth when I try to inhale. And that is why this one's the winner. However, I'll say it's miserable as all heck to try to dance and like that. And, which tells me for any normal person who hasn't been dancing in their fursuit every week on the week, it's gonna be hard. Go slow, go careful, don't go without a mask, but gee, go careful, alright? Like, practice in your own home, dance in your own fursuit in your own home so you know exactly what you're up against. Because, yeah, after doing this, I don't know if I'm going to, MFF. I did this and this at, MCFC. And you know what? That was fairly miserable, and I was hoping that this was going to be enough of a night and day difference to make this one the clear winner. But because this doesn't have that structure that holds it away from my face, it's not the winner. It doesn't make the cut. And with all of that said, I'm exhausted and quite warm. So I'm gonna take this all off. I'm gonna take a shower, and then I might even take a nap. Have a great evening, everybody. Peace out. Oh wait, that's right. I gotta give YouTube a second to, like. There we go. Otherwise, it'll just end abruptly. That'd be weird. Alright, that should be long enough. Hope everyone has a great evening. Goodbye! Oh! Next week. I am not on next week. Want to let you guys know. Almost certainly not on next week. If I am, it will be a drawing one, and late, who knows. Anyway, yeah. Now I go! Peace out.